Welcome back. Vince McMahon is stepping back into the ring of professional football. The World Wrestling Entertainment CEO announced the relaunch of the XFL. That's a professional football experiment that failed after its only season back in 2001.
But how does this news impact another pro football startup still struggling to get going in Lakewood Ranch? Well, ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from outside the former offices of Major League Football. Adam, what's the latest on their efforts to create a pro football league?
There are a few updates, Scott and Jacqueline. Now, Major League Football made a similar announcement back in 2015, but have yet to produce their first spring season since. They're hoping they can beat Vince McMahon to the punch. They've fallen out of the spotlight, but have been working very hard in the shadows, trying to get a product onto the field, and it could be even later this year.
What would you do if you could reimagine the game of professional football?
After 17 years, the XFL has announced a comeback, challenging another professional football startup still struggling to lift off in Lakewood Ranch.
I think the announcement yesterday of XFL, getting rebooted, I think is really going to force them to make a decision about what they want to do.
Michael Burns' company, Community Sports Network, shot video for Major League Football before what was supposed to be their inaugural season in 2016. Investment issues stalled that season, but Burns did learn one thing about the players.
These guys just want to play. They don't care under what league it is. They just want to play the game. We saw that in city after city that we filmed the tryouts.
Major League Football has had more trouble since, vacating their Lakewood Ranch offices and announcing a split with investor and CEO Jerry Craig on Facebook earlier this month. But current CEO Frank Murtha told us in a phone call he's speaking with other investors in an effort to launch something this year.
We're hoping and planning on having some players on the field still yet this late spring, early summer.
It's unclear if the XFL will also be a spring complement to the fall NFL season, but like Major League Football, it will feature 8 teams. And as Murtha noticed, focus on a community-centric model.
Competition is what makes American business go, and hopefully we'll be up and running well long before he hits the field.
Now, Vince McMahon said in his announcement that the XFL is fully funded with $100 million of former WWE stock. Frank Murtha told us that we'll know in the next month and a half if 2018 will be the year for a Major League Football launch that we've been waiting years and years to see. Live in Lakewood Ranch, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott and Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Adam. America's largest and Florida's first diverging diamond interchange is causing confusion among residents here in Sarasota. It's a project that's been ongoing since 2015, which has many asking what's taking it so long to be completed. State transportation officials say the cool weather is causing the delay. It was supposed to be completed months ago, but FDOT says paving and striping are all that's left to be done, but Mother Nature is holding up that process.
We also had the mandatory shutdown for the international rowing competition, which took place in September and October. Then shortly after that is when we got our hurricane. So, everything gets pushed back, unfortunately, and then it got cold.
Improvements to the interchange were set for next week, but that's been postponed due to the continued cool temperatures.
An evacuation plan is coming together in Sarasota County for the upcoming hurricane season. It's designed to get residents who don't live near an evacuation center to safety. With a review scheduled in the coming weeks to evaluate how Sarasota County responded to Hurricane Irma, local representatives got a sneak peek at the review's findings last week. When Irma hit the area in September, 13 evacuation centers at county school buildings kept more than 20,000 people and 2,200 pets safe. Hurricane season begins June 1st, and officials are forming a transportation plan to take evacuees to shelters. County officials say they are also making sure county shelters are as safe as possible.
We have to plan for the worst case scenario of that rapid intensification of a storm coming in at Cat 3, Cat 4. And so our shelters need to be the safest shelters that we put residents in, and that's the decision process we used in Irma.
Hurricane Evacuation Center must meet guidelines from the American Red Cross, and those guidelines are a combination of structural requirements and life-sustaining amenities in a building that it must have, such as bathrooms and food preparation facilities, which of course makes schools the perfect choice.
Of course. Well, the weekend is finally here, so let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for what you can expect this evening. Bob.
Good afternoon, and good. It looks like the evening is going to be pretty good right through 11 o'clock. We'll have some clouds around, but temperatures will be pretty mild, 62 degrees. The wind will still stay up a bit out of the east, and it'll be anywhere from 15 miles an hour down to 10 for some inland areas. Right now it's at 15 to 20 up and down the coast, and you can see it's 16 now. Longboat Key and Bee Ridge, that's been the big story today, is the breezy conditions. East and northeast winds will warm things up. In Inglewood right now it's 15 miles an hour. Out of the east, Northport, pretty much the same story. Well, you can see the clouds gathering in the Gulf, and that's associated with an upper level of disturbance. This will eventually translate down to the surface, and that will be a low pressure area developing over the northeast Gulf of Mexico. Now it'll be far enough north, it appears, that the rough weather will stay generally to the north of us. I would not be surprised to see an isolated thunderstorm or two here along the Sun Coast late Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. Currently at 74, it's nice and warm. The pressure way up there, 30, 32, and east winds are at 16 miles an hour. Current temps, 60s and 70s. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. The man accused of going on a killing spree in Tampa's Seminole Heights neighborhood appeared in a Florida courtroom today. Howell Donaldson III pleading not guilty to first-degree murder charges for allegedly killing 4 people last year. According to local media reports, Donaldson learned shortly before his hearing that prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Donaldson's parents were also in court Friday, facing potential charges of contempt of court for allegedly refusing to answer questions in the case. Donaldson's next court date is set for June. His parents are due back in court in February.
More than 1.5 million Floridians now unable to vote would have those rights restored under a proposed constitutional amendment that will go before voters this fall. The Voting Restoration Amendment was approved this week. It would automatically restore voting rights to felons who have served their sentences, completed parole or probation, and paid restitution. Murderers and sex offenders would be excluded. Constitution Revision Commissioner Arthenia Joyner says all of the efforts now need to be focused on passing the amendment.
These people have fulfilled their obligation to society. They paid their dues. They paid restitution. They've done everything the law required. And so we've just got to sell it.
If approved by at least 60% of voters, the change would bring Florida in line with nearly every other state in the nation. The restoration of felons' rights has long been controversial in Florida, with critics of the state's process comparing it to post-Civil War Jim Crow policies designed to keep blacks from casting ballots.
In Washington, a new firestorm is brewing over the Russian investigation. The New York Times reports President Trump ordered the firing of special counsel Robert Mueller just 1 month after Mueller was appointed to the job. Before leaving Switzerland today, the president pushing back, calling the report fake news. Arlette Saenz is in Washington with more details.
In Davos, Switzerland, President Trump declared America is open for business.
Now is the perfect time to bring your business, your jobs, and your investments to the United States.
But back home, a new bombshell in the Russia investigation awaits. The New York Times reports last June, the president asked White House counsel Don McGahn to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. The president reportedly told associates he thought Mueller had conflicts of interest. According to the Times, the president relented after McGahn threatened to quit, arguing such a move would have a catastrophic effect on Mr. Trump's presidency. Before leaving Davos, the president pushed back.
Fake news, folks. Fake news. What's your message today? Typical New York Times fake stories.
The president's White House lawyer for the Russia probe declined to comment out of respect for the office of the special counsel and its process. The president has previously said ousting Mueller isn't on the table.
Mr. President, have you thought about or considered leading the dismissal of the special counsel? Or is there anything that Bob Mueller could do that you would send you in that direction?
I haven't given it any thought.
But Democrats are sounding off.
If this president decides to move against that special counsel, it could erode the rule of law in this country in a way that would be a devastating blow.
Back in August, lawmakers introduced legislation to limit a president's power to remove a special counsel. Senator Cory Booker and other Democrats are renewing calls for Congress to consider those bills. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight.
What a new report says about how much sleep teens are getting and the consequences they could face for not getting enough.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new Subaru Impreza for just $185 a month, or get 0% financing and 0 down with complimentary maintenance included. That's right, not 1 penny down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Start the year off with big savings during the Start Something New event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Why settle for less when you can shop the Suncoast's largest selection? Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $24,999. Or drive away in a beautiful new Chrysler 300 for as little as $21,999. That's right, save over $9,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability. Or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Sleep in your teen, what a new report says about how much of it they're getting. As ABC's Kenneth Moten tells us, the answer may surprise you.
Whether they are night owls or early risers, if your adolescent and teenage kids are like most in the U.S., they are cutting corners on sleep somewhere. And this week, a new report out of the CDC finding that more than half of middle schoolers and nearly 3/4 of high schoolers are not getting enough sleep. And the consequences of this sleep debt, more than just crankiness. Lack of sleep can lead to higher risk of obesity, diabetes, even behavior and attention problems. So how much sleep should they be getting? The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommending 9 to 12 hours for ages 6 to 12 and 8 to 10 hours for 13 to 18-year-olds. But it's not just the quantity you should focus on, quality important too. And that means practicing good sleep hygiene, like keeping a consistent sleep schedule and limiting electronic device use in the evening. Simple tips to keep your kids safe from the perils of a short night. With this Medical Minute, I'm Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harris.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the warmer temperatures this afternoon as a result of those easterly winds. Lots of sunshine out there, some clouds coming in late this afternoon. A little bit more moisture returning in advance of a storm system that is gathering the Gulf of Mexico. Now, we're looking at a nice sunset again this evening. Weather headlines read like this. Look for variable clouds on Saturday. There'll be some peeks of the sun occasionally. Showers move in on Sunday. Timing now appears to be after sunrise, and then the heavier showers later in the day. Cooler weather for Tuesday. Now, it'll be a transitional day on Monday with some cooler temperatures starting to move in on Monday, but you'll notice it more so on Tuesday. You can see that increasing moisture from the upper levels anyway, streaming ahead. A high pressure at the surface continues to bring in that moisture you see right there. The lower clouds showing up, moving from the east to the west, while the higher clouds are funneling in with the associated disturbance in the upper level of the atmosphere, which will eventually translate down to the surface and become a surface low over the northeast Gulf of Mexico. And it looks as though this high pressure ridge will again bring us that easterly wind flow and actually feed into this area of low pressure. So all that wind is going to go fill that low up as it ascends into the upper levels of the atmosphere. Now, the satellite and radar review showing breezy conditions today. You can see these are spotty showers making their way all the way over into central Florida right now. That breezy weather will continue through this evening, and we can expect that to subside somewhat tomorrow afternoon. The temperature right now, warm, 74. We have a dew point at 51, east winds at 16. The high today was 78, not close to the record though, 91. Look at that, set back in 1990. The forecast for tomorrow looks like this. Variable clouds, some peaks of the sunshine, so not a bad day at all. It will be a warm one. Highs will be in the upper 70s once again, and it looks as though no rainfall expected on Saturday. Sunday, a different story. This is through 6. And you can see most everyone getting the rainfall. It looks like with this particular model in the late afternoon and evening, the heaviest rain up past a ½ inch in most areas, at least the estimates are there. And I agree that everyone is going to get some rainfall on this, but the timing of it appears to be maybe a little later with this particular model. This is 7 a.m. on Saturday. It looks good for us. I mentioned the clouds and sun mix, but boy, big storms with the frontal boundary developing to the west of us in the Gulf of Mexico. And then still looking good at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. And then Sunday, this line kind of breaks up and heads our way. This is at 4:30 with a few spotty showers inland. Again, the heavier showers coming in later on in the afternoon and evening. Although, I must caution you is that we may see some light rain prior to the heavier showers moving in. Well, the cold air in Montreal, it's 9, but not too bad in Buffalo. 44 degrees there, in the 50s in Ohio, and Billings, Montana at 39 degrees. Wichita warm, 64. And Dallas now at 65 degrees. Well, here's the 7-day forecast as we see it. Saturday, nice, a little bit of sunshine, 78. First alert weather day, 76 for a high with showers and a few isolated thunderstorms. Rain Sunday evening too, so it looks like the drum circle could have some problems there out in Siesta. We'll see 28% chance of morning on Monday, but then cooler temperatures and turning breezy for Tuesday and Wednesday with highs below seasonal averages there. And then another front due to arrive Friday of next week, bringing with it some clouds and a chance for some showers. Well, I had a chance, didn't get a good chance to go out fishing, but some folks did. In fact, that's a video from the dolphins that were swimming around, having a good time in the fog earlier this week. Remember, that fog was rather thick at times. This coming from Anna Maria Dolphin Tours, posting this, and you can see quite a few of the dolphins out there enjoying the day. Also had some videos sent in from Selby, but you get a chance to show that most of the bay emptying out in front of the Selby Garden yesterday as a result of the strong east winds and the low tide, mainly because of the winds, though. Gone fishing. This is Jed Azinger. Scott remembers Jed. He played against him in the championship there in golf in Riverview High School. I think Paul Azinger was the caddy, wasn't he, or something? Or
he was watching.
He was watching, okay.
Yeah.
Big Blue right there. I don't know who won. We'll find out later. Big Blue right there for Jed. And Redfish, Sarasota Bay. This is Tight Lines. Captain Rick, again, Grassett out of Seabees there. And Breakwater Charter is always showing some good fish. These are mainly all triple tail that you see. Captain Brian Marcy catching those. Triple tail have been enormous this year. And Baywalker 2, Captain Trey Dietz, and I think that is a gag grouper that they found right there in a little shelf he just found this past week. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. Traffic is backed up on the Ringling Bridge coming off from St. Armand, so keep that in mind if you're heading out tonight.
The head of Planned Parenthood is stepping down. President Cecile Richards said in a statement today she will relinquish her position by the end of this year. In her statement, she said leading Planned Parenthood for the past 12 years had been, quote, the honor of my lifetime. Richards took the reins of the Women's Health Organization in 2006. She's recently written a memoir titled Make Trouble. It's expected to hit bookshelves in April.
Businessman and real estate mogul Steve Wynn has been accused of sexual misconduct in a new article from the Wall Street Journal. Shares of Wynn Resorts, of which Wynn is the founder and CEO, plunged more than 10% today after that story broke. The Journal said it had spoken to more than 150 current and former employees as part of its reporting. Wynn called the allegations preposterous in a statement sent to CNN. Wynn is also a well-known Republican donor and the finance chairman of the Republican National Committee.
Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, we learn the proper way to take British royal tea. Plus, Urbanite Theater's moving new play and spice and tea exchange in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Attorneys for Bill Cosby are looking to have sexual assault charges against the comedian dismissed.
His defense attorneys filed those motions Thursday alleging misconduct by prosecutors and a lack of proof. Cosby is scheduled to be retried in April on aggravated indecent assault charges. He's accused of drugging and sexually assaulting a woman at his home more than a decade ago. The first trial ended in a mistrial when jurors could not agree on a unanimous verdict. The comedian has long denied the allegations against him.
Talk show host Jimmy Kimmel says he will interview adult film star Stormy Daniels after the upcoming State of the Union address. She's been a controversial figure since the Wall Street Journal reported that just before the election in 2016, she was paid $130,000 to deny she had an affair with Donald Trump in 2006. Daniels will appear on the January 30th broadcast of Jimmy Kimmel Live. It will be broadcast just a few hours after Trump's first State of the Union address.
Kimmel tweeted he has a few questions for her. Talk show icon Ellen DeGeneres turned 60 years old today, and to celebrate, she welcomed some famous friends to her show, including musician Justin Timberlake and Frozen star Kristen Bell. DeGeneres was born in Louisiana and was a popular stand-up comedian before starring in her own sitcom, Ellen. She came out as gay in 1997, and her sitcom was canceled shortly after that. A few years later, though, the role of Dory in Finding Nemo gave her a career boost that eventually led to her talk show, which is now watched by about 15 million people a week.
Wow. Well, the recording industry is getting ready to hand out its coveted Grammy Awards this Sunday. New York is hosting the Grammys for the first time in 15 years. Rapper Jay-Z is up for 8 nominations, including Album of the Year. Kendrick Lamar and Bruno Mars come in second and third as the most nominated artists. Both are slated to perform at the show, which will be hosted once again by Late Night's James Corden. Despacito, the Latin crossover sensation, could make history as the first Spanish language song ever to win Song of the Year. Don't get me wrong, I do like that song. It's kind of catchy.
It is, yeah. You got to move when you hear it, right?
Exactly.
We'll be right back with more news and your forecast for the weekend.
It's time to take a road trip. Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some of the best are music to your ears, like the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. Or head over to Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios. Are you a star yet?
My mama thinks so.
Or, if that's your stomach I hear grumbling, our barbecue is almost a religious experience. Food good here? Best in the country. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Which one you gonna take?